In the bustling world of the 19th century, art became a lens through which people viewed their reality. One remarkable piece from this era is a portrait painted in 1875 that shows a family of 5. The artwork is not only captivating due to its skillful brushwork, but also because it holds a fascinating secret. Only 2 of the figures depicted actually existed. This intriguing fact raises many questions about the portrait and the era it represents. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. The portrait invites viewers into a snapshot of domestic life, filled with expressions and emotions that seem timeless. We see a father and mother at the center, both dressed in elegant clothing reflecting the fashion of the time. Their attire is luxurious, yet practical, drawing attention to their social standing during an exciting period of American history. Flanking them are 3 children, each standing with playful gestures and curious faces, as if they had been caught in a moment of joy. This painting serves not only as a visual delight, but also as a reflection on artificiality in family representations during the late 1800s. The custom of commissioning family portraits was popular among wealthy citizens who wanted to showcase their prosperity and social status. Families often posed in harmonious arrangements that projected the image of perfection, even if it meant constructing an idealized version of their lives. In this case, the artist's decision to include 3 children suggests that he understood the appeal of a fuller family narrative, emphasizing love, joy, and togetherness. As we delve deeper into the story behind this portrait, it becomes essential to consider the historical context surrounding its creation. The world in 1875 was changing rapidly. Industrialization brought advancements that transformed daily life, while social structures began to shift dramatically. Families were exploring what it meant to be together amid changing landscapes. Thus, commissions for family portraits emerged as an avenue to express stability in turbulent times. The artist behind this compelling work is shrouded in its own layer of mystery. Although much has been researched about the piece itself, details about the painter's life and motivations remain elusive. Information about their style and technique often illuminates choices present in this particular portrait, enhancing our appreciation for their artistry. Exploring other pieces created by this artist will help us better understand how they approach themes like family and identity throughout their career. However, how does one maintain this grand illusion of familial completeness? This portrait cleverly utilizes artistic techniques to blend reality with imagination. It might depict childlike innocence through playful poses or use color contrasts to heighten emotional appeal, leading us to feel deeper connections with each character shown. Just as important is consideration of how these visual dynamics reflect larger ideas about family dynamics during the time. The surprise twist lies not only in the fact that the portrait presents an exaggerated family, but also in how we learn about its truth over time. Investigating the real-life characters behind each figure reveals the poignant reality. While the parents existed, a bit more digging shows that their children were figments of artistic imagination, representations rather than real individuals. This transition from illusion to revelation invites us into a broader conversation about how narratives are crafted through art. People's reactions to art can vary widely over time. When this portrait was first exhibited, viewers may have gazed upon it with admiration for its beauty without considering its underlying truth. In our day and age, familiarity with digital imaging often blurs lines between reality and fabrication. However, those living in 1875 dedicated immense value to authenticity in everyday life, despite sometimes yearning for fantasy. a concept they portrayed through artful expression. Today, the significance of this piece stretches beyond mere aesthetic pleasure. It forms connections across generations as we consider themes of love and family today compared to 150 years ago. Viewers now bring fresh perspectives shaped by contemporary discussions around representation and identity, found within artworks long past their time. As we contemplate all aspects surrounding this portrait, the family it depicts, the wider societal trends influencing representations of family roles, and ultimately how we perceive complete versus incomplete narratives, we start uncovering layers that enrich our understanding. Art has an incredible power. It transports us into different worlds while encouraging us to examine our own with new eyes. Thus, even when only two exist where five are seen, it's vital to appreciate how such pieces resonate far wider than accuracy might suggest. The beauty of this portrait lies not just in its colors or brushstrokes, but in its ability to ignite curiosity and conversation about what families mean throughout history, and even within our own lives today. By moving forward into deeper investigation, while savoring those initial impressions sparked by art, we lay down connections between pasts and presents, interweaving desires to build unity through understanding. In summary, our exploration begins with this captivating 1875 portrait showcasing a family of five, an invitation into stunning imagery paired with narratives of imagination versus truth that have intriguing implications extending beyond its canvas. Just as two true individuals stand at its core among playful fantasies painted vividly around them, we can be inspired to think more broadly about representation and storytelling within different colonial contexts through art across ages still living today. Each element composes not just what we see on display, but also reflects those timeless emotions families around the world share. The joys, dreams, and complexities contained within every portrayal offered up for consideration throughout history. To fully appreciate the 1875 portrait of the family of five, we must delve into the life and background of its creator. The artist, whose name has echoed through art history, is often recognized for their ability to blend realism with a touch of idealization. Born in the early 19th century, they were part of a generation that witnessed significant changes in both society and art. This period was marked by a shift towards more personal and intimate expressions in art, moving away from grand historical themes to focus on everyday life and individual narratives. This artist was known for their technical skill, particularly in depicting fabrics and textures. Their portraits often featured subjects dressed in elaborate outfits that conveyed not only their wealth, but also their personalities. Attention to detail was paramount. Each fold of clothing and each glint on jewelry were rendered with precision. The artist's style can be categorized as part of the realism movement, which sought to represent subjects truthfully without embellishment or exaggeration. However, what set them apart from many contemporaries was their subtle infusion of warmth and emotion into their subjects, inviting viewers to connect with the individuals portrayed. Throughout their career, this artist produced a variety of notable works that showcased similar themes of family and social status. Many portraits feature groups posed together in carefully arranged compositions, often reflecting ideals of harmony and unity that families aspired to project during that era. These works not only captured likenesses, but also served as visual narratives about the lives and values of the sitters. Each painting offered a glimpse into familial bonds, while simultaneously projecting an image that aligned with societal expectations. One hallmark of this artist's work is their ability to convey emotion through facial expressions and body language. In the portrait we are exploring, the father and mother exhibit a serene strength. They embody both authority and tenderness, typical of parental figures during the late 1800s. The children's playful poses add a layer of liveliness that contrasts with adult seriousness. An intentional choice that showcases not just familial love, but also youthful innocence. While specific details about this artist's personal life remain somewhat elusive, it is known that they thrived in an environment rich with artistic influences. They interacted with fellow artists who shared similar philosophies about capturing everyday life on canvas, exchanging ideas that would shape their own creative approach over time. This collaborative spirit within artistic circles helped refine their techniques, while also expanding thematic exploration within their works. As we consider how historical context influenced this artist's perspective, it's essential to recognize how rapidly changing social structures affected family dynamics at the time. The Industrial Revolution altered traditional roles within households. It created new opportunities for some while challenging others' positions in society. These shifts likely influenced how families wanted to be perceived, often striving for an appearance of stability amid uncertainty, which is reflected in many commissioned portraits. The story behind this particular portrait deepens when we explore its creation process further. Artists often relied on patrons, wealthy individuals or families, to commission works like these. Thus, they had to balance personal expression with clients' desires for representation. This can lead to fascinating discussions regarding authenticity versus embellishment. How much artistic license should one take when portraying life? The inclusion of 3 imaginary children in this portrait raises questions about what constitutes truth in art. Furthermore, this artist's works contributed significantly to conversations around identity during a period when people began questioning traditional norms regarding family structures and roles. By crafting idealized images that resonated emotionally, they tapped into universal themes accessible across various demographics, a testament to why these pieces have remained relevant. As we explore more about this artist's legacy today, it becomes increasingly clear how they shaped perceptions around family life through visual storytelling. Their work provided audiences not just entertainment, but also introspection, a chance to reflect on personal experiences alongside those depicted on canvas. In contemporary discussions surrounding art history, there is ongoing interest in examining how artists navigated social expectations while still expressing individuality within collective frameworks present at the time. As viewers engage with portraits like this one from 1875 today, they can appreciate deeper layers hidden beneath surface beauty, recognizing reflections upon familial relationships shaped by culture over generations rather than merely admiring technical mastery alone. Ultimately, the artist behind our portrait is not merely a name lost in time. Rather, they symbolize a crucial moment when artistry intersected powerfully with societal values surrounding family representation. An intersection still relevant as we continue unpacking complex narratives tied closely to identity throughout history. Thus far in our exploration of this captivating piece from 1875, featuring 5 painted figures, 2 real individuals among deceptive illusions, we find ourselves enriched by understanding both who created it and why such portrayals mattered then just as much as they do now. Engaging deeply with artistry reveals emotions embedded within artwork, while connecting past stories woven through brushstrokes across centuries still live today. As we unravel the story behind the captivating 1875 portrait, it becomes essential to focus on the real family depicted within its painted confines. While the artwork features 5 figures, a mother, a father, and 3 children, it holds a striking secret. Only 2 of these individuals were based on real people. The remaining 3 were imagined, crafted from the artist's mind to create an enchanting yet misleading narrative of familial bliss. The couple at the center of the portrait were indeed real, a married pair navigating the societal expectations of their time. Let's delve into their lives, backgrounds, and motivations for commissioning such a grand representation. They belonged to an affluent social class that valued appearance. Thus, commissioning a family portrait was a common practice among affluent families eager to display their unity and status. These portraits served as visual declarations of societal standing, while also embodying ideals of family love and harmony. The mother was known for her grace and elegance, qualities reflected in her poised demeanor and exquisite attire in the portrait. Her dress, adorned with intricate details that symbolize both fashion and wealth, offers insight into the styles popular among upper-class women during the late 19th century. This is indicative not just of personal taste, but also society's expectations for women as caretakers of family identity. The father, standing confidently beside her, represented traditional masculinity marked by authority and responsibility. His stern yet tender expression captures the dual burdens placed upon men during this period, being both providers and nurturers. Together, they created an image of combined strength and grace, echoing the ideal family model many aspired to achieve in 19th century America. However, behind this facade of perfection lies an intriguing story about the children depicted in the painting. While they bring life and joy to the composition, they stand as mere symbols rather than representations of reality. The artist chose to portray 3 children instead of the 1 or 2 that may have actually existed in this family context. This decision was likely a deliberate attempt to evoke emotions associated with childhood, innocence, curiosity, and happiness that resonated with viewers at that time. Creating imaginary children allowed the artist to amplify themes of togetherness and familial joy, while aligning with societal norms favoring large families as indicative of prosperity. The presence of additional figures made the portrait appear more complete and harmonious. It catered to public desire for an ideal lifestyle that often transcended reality. This practice raised questions about authenticity. What does it mean when art depicts more than what exists? The mystery deepens when we consider why these alluring fictional characters were included in this intimate family snapshot. Artistic license played a significant role. Perhaps it was not solely about representing their real life, but rather constructing an aura around it, one filled with warmth and idealization amidst rapid social change marked by shifting values regarding family dynamics. Investigating further reveals how this choice reflects broader societal themes during that time. The Industrial Revolution had reshaped traditional roles within families and ushered in new understandings of identity and relationships. During such transformative periods, people often turned to art as a means to express aspirations, to visualize the family unit they yearned for amidst uncertainty. As we shift our focus back toward those who commissioned this notable work, the husband and wife, we find layers of complexity regarding societal pressures they navigated daily. They desired not just to capture imagery, but carve out narratives intertwining sentimental value with emerging cultural expectations surrounding family life. This leads us to question how they felt seeing these imagined figures represented alongside them in such a prominent way. Did they feel pride in embodying an ideal vision of familial unity? Or perhaps unease knowing those representations were not entirely reflective of actual lived experiences? What remains clear is that this portrait served as more than decorative art. It became a reflection of aspirations held during those times, capturing moments that would resonate through generations, even if only 2 members truly existed within its painted canvas. In appreciating this layered relationship between artifice and authenticity expressed through this work, We are invited into deeper explorations of how narratives shaped perceptions around family across different histories. Not just past, but present, too. Today's viewers can engage with artworks like this one while uncovering dialogues around representation, identity, and familial expectations over time. This case highlights how these portrayals contribute significantly towards understanding emotional connections tied not simply through bloodlines, but through shared ideals preserved throughout artistic history, long after initial strokes dried up on canvas. As we conclude our investigation into the real family backdrop behind this fascinating 1875 portrait, we gain insights into familiar tales woven alongside cultural narratives, cherished through generations, while reflecting on why such stories continue capturing hearts even today. Art can encapsulate emotions so profoundly that remains relatable despite differing periods separating those who live them. A timeless reminder, painted across themes binding us all as human beings pursuing love within interconnected families across ages. In examining the 1875 portrait of the family, it's crucial to consider the artistic choices that led the creator to depict 5 members rather than just the actual 2. This decision speaks volumes about the artist's intentions and reflects broader societal themes prevalent during that time. The inclusion of 3 imagined children serves not only as a means of enhancing visual appeal, but also as a deliberate strategy to evoke emotions and ideals associated with family life. Firstly, depicting a family unit with 5 figures allows for a richer narrative. It encapsulates the essence of family dynamics more fully. In the late 19th century, larger families were often viewed as symbols of prosperity and stability. By presenting 3 children alongside the mother and father, the artist crafted an image that resonated with contemporary aspirations for familial bliss. This choice reflects societal ideals where families were often idealized in art, aspiring to represent happiness, harmony, and togetherness. Moreover, by incorporating imaginary children, the artist tapped into deep-rooted emotions tied to childhood: innocence, joy, and curiosity. Viewers may connect more profoundly with the painting when they see playful children radiating warmth and happiness. These elements help create a more inviting atmosphere that engages viewers on an emotional level. In contrast, a portrait featuring only 2 adults might come across as lacking in life or warmth. It could feel more like a documentation of existence rather than an exploration of familial bonds. Additionally, these artistic choices can be viewed through the lens of social commentary. During this era, families were experiencing rapid changes due to urbanization and industrialization. Traditional roles began shifting, leading to uncertainty about family identity. By portraying an idealized version of family life, complete with cheerful children, the artist offered a comforting narrative against this backdrop of change. It provided viewers with a vision they could aspire to in a time when many were grappling with evolving social norms. The decision to include fictional characters also spoke to commercial aspects of art at that time. Wealthy patrons often sought out family portraits, not just for personal documentation, but as status symbols meant to showcase their affluence and stability. Including multiple figures would elevate the family's image by presenting them as deeply connected and nurturing within an expansive unit, a desirable quality among affluent circles. This aligns perfectly with both the expectations of patrons and societal standards during the 1800s. Furthermore, it is fascinating to consider how such depictions reflect the collective imagination regarding family structures. The idea of an idealized family unit, a mother, father, and multiple children, has long been rooted in cultural narratives around normalcy and success. By painting such configurations, artists affirmed these narratives while simultaneously catering to public desires for representation that mirrored their aspirations regarding happiness and fulfillment. However, there is also an inherent tension in representing what does not exist. This duality invites further reflection on authenticity within art itself. While some may view these imaginary figures as deceptive or misleading, they can also be seen as creative expressions encapsulating universal themes that transcend individual experiences. They evoke feelings familiar across generations despite differing realities behind each brushstroke. As viewers engage with this portrait today, they find themselves confronted by questions surrounding authenticity. What does it mean for art to depict ideals rather than reality? How much creative freedom should artists take when representing life? Such inquiries allow contemporary audiences to reconsider their perceptions regarding familial ties, while examining underlying societal pressures shaping those relationships throughout history. Lastly, let us appreciate how this artistic approach encourages dialogues beyond mere aesthetics. It invites viewers into explorations wrapped in emotional complexity, where connections are formed through layers of understanding interwoven across time. Engaging deeply with artwork offers opportunities for reflections on our own lives and families, while acknowledging how shared ideals continue influencing representations we encounter today. In summary, through carefully crafting this portrait, filled with both real figures and imaginative elements reflective of societal norms during its creation, an intricate dance between authenticity and embellishment emerges. The artist's intention reveals not only individual stories, but also wider cultural narratives, allowing opportunities for introspection about familial structures shared across ages. Art becomes a bridge connecting past experiences with current sentiments still relevant today, while inspiring future generations seeking meaning anchored within love, nurtured amidst diverse experiences expressed through paint on canvas. To understand the significance of the 1875 portrait depicting a family of 5, we must explore the historical context of that era, which significantly influenced how families were represented in art. In the mid to late 19th century, society was undergoing rapid transformation due to factors like industrialization, urbanization, and shifting social norms. This backdrop dramatically impacted familial roles and perceptions, serving as fertile ground for artistic expression. Industrialization reshaped the landscape of family life. As factories emerged and cities expanded, many rural families migrated to urban areas in search of work. This shift from agrarian economies to industrial ones brought about a new understanding of labor and its role within households. Families became smaller on average as women began entering the workforce in larger numbers, leading to evolving family dynamics and lifestyles closely tied to their social status. Many people relied on visual representations of stability during uncertain times. Thus, portraying a complete and harmonious family became increasingly desirable. At this time, prevailing societal ideals emphasized the importance of family as a foundational unit within society. The concept of the nuclear family, a structure consisting typically of a mother, father, and children, was at the forefront of cultural norms in America and Europe. Artistic representations began to reflect these values by showcasing an idealized version of family life without distorting reality completely. As families looked for reassurance amidst upheaval, portraits that captured unity reinforced their aspirations for stability and happiness. Moreover, Victorian ideals heavily influenced views on domesticity during this period. The prevailing belief was that women should embody the roles of virtuous wives and nurturing mothers, while men were seen as protectors and providers. This gendered vision found its way into art as artists began capturing intimate moments among family members, emphasizing warmth and affection, a reflection of societal expectations that revolved around love and morality within households. In addition to these domestic expectations, moral overtones linked to motherhood became notable themes in art, since they defined women's identities at that time. Artists often portrayed mothers as symbols of purity and selflessness, thereby celebrating their nurturing qualities while reinforcing traditional gender roles. In our portrait featuring a mother figure dressed elegantly with serene composure alongside her imagined children, we can see how these themes resonate deeply with the cultural narrative. As such, depictions fulfilled public desires for representation aimed at aspirational norms surrounding familial bliss, observed widely among affluent classes during the late 1800s. They also echoed broader concerns about authenticity. Artists faced pressure to balance between idealism and realism. Patrons expected their likenesses along specific cultural narratives rooted firmly within established values, even when those portraits diverged from lived experiences. Additionally, discussions concerning class distinctions played a critical role in shaping representation in art during this time period. Wealthy families commissioned portraits not only for personal acknowledgement, but also as status symbols showcasing affluence and success. A practice prevalent among those desiring recognition within social hierarchies where maintaining appearances mattered significantly. The inclusion of 3 imaginary children in our portrait can be interpreted through this lens. By presenting their family prominently with multiple offspring featured together alongside parents with luxurious garments evoking wealth. That image operated as a visual declaration meant to convey sophistication, while conforming closely with societal ideals associated with prosperity. In understanding how families navigated these dynamics across different cultures, we uncover complexities surrounding emotional connections that artists sought to capture visually. Every stroke conveying layers rich in narrative depth, despite abstraction inherent within familial portrayals filtered through personal ambitions underpinned by evolving demands present during each respective era. As we bring our focus back toward 1875's artistic climate, shaped increasingly by evolving interests, viewers are reminded how images serve dual purposes, fostering reflections upon nostalgia while inciting questions about performance. How much do we desire these idealizations? What truths lie hidden beneath these polished veneers? This historical context encourages further exploration regarding not just aesthetic motivations behind such artworks, but also deeper meanings emerging through woven narratives blurred between aspirations versus realities, underlying both artist intentions and viewer interpretations alike. Ultimately, it facilitates connections across generations. To newer interpretations, grappling continually with challenges universal even today. In summary, amidst the backdrop of societal transformation occurring throughout late 19th century America, the portrayal seen in our captivating 1875 portrait reflects ongoing dialogue surrounding family values shaped significantly against external pressures, defining emerging identities, captured within glimpses appearing gracefully before painted canvases. Understanding these complexities enriches our appreciation for narrative depth embedded within not only this artwork, but all artistic expressions striving towards timeless resonance felt through changing ages, along hearts navigating familial interplay across rich histories intertwined intricately together through stories both real yet imagined. As we delve deeper into the enchanting mystery surrounding the 1875 portrait of a family of 5, it becomes fascinating to uncover how researchers piece together the truth about the figures depicted within the art. The revelation that only 2 of these individuals were real uncovered layers of complexity regarding family representation in the artwork, and sparked discussions about authenticity in historical narratives. The journey began with art historians and researchers who became intrigued by the portrait's charming depiction of familial unity. Initial inquiries into the identity of the figures led them to explore archival resources, including census records, local histories, and family documents from that time period. Their goal was to identify the real family behind the portrait and to ascertain whether the imagined children held any basis in reality. Interviews with descendants and visits to historical societies provided critical context. Engaging with families who might have connections to the subjects of the painting opened doors to discussions about lineage, heritage, and family lore that had been passed down through generations. These interactions challenged assumptions and encouraged a broader understanding of how portraits served as not just artistic expressions, but also as historical documents reflecting social constructs. An important breakthrough came when researchers managed to trace the couple, identified as the real parents depicted in the portrait, through property records and marriage certificates. Their names, once obscure, emerged from dusty ledgers, confirming their status as prominent members of society during that era. This discovery laid the groundwork for further exploration into their life stories and familial connections, deepening our understanding of their motivations for commissioning such a work. However, the journey did not stop there. The search for the children depicted alongside them became more tenuous, leading scholars to investigate artistic practices of the time. Understanding how artists often included imaginary children in family portraits revealed insights into common trends, especially among affluent families looking to project unity and prosperity. This climate helped clarify why this particular artist opted to portray 3 children rather than just 1 or 2. It was essentially a means of creating an aspirational narrative while conforming to societal norms. As researchers continued their work, they began to recognize parallels between this specific family story and broader themes concerning parental roles and expectations during the late 19th century. While the parents existed in tangible history, the inclusion of fictional children highlighted how societal pressures influenced not only artistic expression, but also personal identities tied closely to familial ideals. Several historians also delved into literature of that period, the written accounts that shaped cultural narratives around family life. Pamphlets, novels, and periodicals from the time often depicted similar archetypes of family dynamics, reinforcing popular notions of motherhood and fatherhood. These texts provided context that enriched their understanding of how art reflects societal values while simultaneously shaping them. The significance of authenticity was further layered as researchers examined how art served as a window into lived experiences that audiences desired during an era rife with change. While some may argue against the inclusion of imagined figures in a work like this due to perceived deception, others found merit in these artistic choices as expressions encapsulating universal emotions tied to parenthood, childhood nostalgia, and aspirations for joy amid evolving societal landscapes. As insights continued to unfold, researchers hosted community discussions inviting members from various backgrounds, artists, historians, sociologists, to reflect on these revelations together. By sharing knowledge across disciplines, they constructed a multifaceted understanding of how storytelling through art endures across generations while grappling with authenticity versus idealization. Moreover, this collaborative approach extended beyond individual artwork. It opened pathways for conversations about how families navigate their identities across different eras. Even when represented through artistic interpretation, the democratic spirit born from these dialogues allowed local communities to rethink their connections with art while engaging in meaningful reflections about their own familial journeys. Ultimately, this investigation revealed how uncovering history is not merely about seeking factual accuracy. It intertwines with emotional truths that resonate over time. The knowledge gained through studying this portrait extends beyond 2 real figures. It encompasses aspirations, desires for stability amidst societal shifts, and ideals we still hold today regarding love within our families. As we reflect upon these discoveries surrounding the 1875 portrait and its captivating yet complex narrative involving both real and imagined figures, the unfolding mystery helps illuminate themes central to human experience: connection, representation, and the beauty found within our stories, regardless of whether they are rooted in fact or artistry crafted from dreams. Through this process of unveiling truths hidden beneath layers of paint and expectation, we are reminded that every artwork embodies a piece of history intertwined with ongoing dialogues about identity that transcend generations. They inspire us to continue exploring what family means while celebrating both authenticity and imagination alike as we navigate our paths through life. When the 1875 portrait of a family of 5 was first displayed, it captivated viewers with its artistic beauty and compelling representation of family life. Audiences of that era were drawn to the idealized image of familial harmony, which resonated deeply with contemporary aspirations for stability and unity in the face of rapid societal changes. Art patrons and critics alike praised the painting's emotional depth and meticulous detail, seeing it as a testament to the artist's skill in blending realism with idealization. Initial reactions to the portrait likely reflected prevailing societal norms that valued large families as symbols of prosperity. Many viewers admired the portrayal of a loving mother, a protective father, and 3 cheerful children, elements that aligned perfectly with the cultural ideals of the time. Wealthy patrons commissioning similar portraits sought to project their status while showcasing their connections to tradition and family values. Therefore, this painting was embraced as an embodiment of those ideals and elicited admiration from those who saw it as a mirror reflecting their desires for an idyllic family life. However, as time passed, attitudes toward such representations began to shift. In the decades following its unveiling, the art world experienced transformations that altered how people viewed family dynamics and narratives captured on canvas. The emergence of new artistic movements challenged earlier approaches focused heavily on idealization. As concepts surrounding identity, gender roles, and social structures evolved through the progressive lens of modernism and realism during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, audiences became increasingly critical of overly romanticized portrayals. With growing awareness surrounding issues like authenticity in art, people began questioning whether depictions like this one accurately represented lived experiences or merely constructed fantasies detached from reality. The revelation that only 2 figures in the portrait were real added another layer of complexity to how audiences interpreted it, rather than viewing it solely as an uplifting celebration of family life. Viewers started to engage with deeper conversations about representation, what was genuine versus constructed. As researchers uncovered more about the history behind this captivating piece, its narrative complexity sparked renewed interest in examining broader cultural themes associated with family life throughout various historical periods. Discussions centered around notions of parenthood transformed perceptions. While some contemporary viewers found value in idealizations present within such art forms for nostalgia's sake, others felt they obscured authentic experiences tied to familial relationships. This duality in audience reaction illustrates how people's connections with art can evolve over time based on changing societal values. As notions surrounding gender roles shifted, noting increased visibility for women's experiences. The emotionally resonant portrayal once cherished might now be critiqued for reinforcing conventional ideals that limit understanding around diverse family structures. In recent years, discussions around this particular portrait have been revitalized by community initiatives inviting artists, historians, and everyday people to reflect collectively on its significance within today's context. Engaging with newer generations who value authenticity has opened pathways for reimagining familiar narratives while encouraging dialogues on how diverse families navigate their identities across differing eras. For instance, workshops held at museums featuring this portrait invite participants to explore their own understandings regarding familial bonds, pairing personal stories alongside artistic expressions rooted in history. This interactive approach fosters connections, bridging past experiences with contemporary conversations about love, support systems, and kinship building, highlighting how our interpretations evolve alongside societal transformations. Ultimately, reactions to the 1875 portrait have undergone significant shifts over time. From initial admiration rooted in aspirational ideals reflecting affluent lifestyles, to critical engagements questioning authenticity amid social change. Its narrative invites continual exploration into what constitutes family within our lives today, while inspiring reflections upon inherited legacies intertwined through generations. By contemplating these transformations occurring alongside viewer perceptions, we see how each brushstroke carries not just aesthetic value, but rich stories reflective of communities' evolving journeys through love over time. As we celebrate artistry crafted amid historical contexts, it underscores ongoing dialogues centered around identity, captured both within painted canvases, yet revealed deeply across shared human experiences, transcending mere visuals alone. The warmth felt in familial connections remains universal regardless of evolving standards, framing them throughout culture over ages. Thus far on this journey, exploring reactions towards this remarkable piece from 1875, we recognize every encounter holds potential for enriching narratives, aligning closely with our quests, seeking understanding intertwined through shared history. Embodied within collective hearts, navigating evolving definitions surrounding family themselves. The journey of the 1875 portrait of a family of five did not end with its initial display. Rather, it took on a life of its own as the years progressed. After being unveiled to an audience captivated by its beauty and idealized representation of family, the portrait began to move through various hands, reflecting changing tastes and interests in art. Understanding its legacy and preservation sheds light on how artworks can evolve in significance over time, becoming vessels of history that connect generations. Initially, the painting likely resided within the home of the family who commissioned it, serving as a cherished emblem of familial pride and unity. As societal dynamics shifted and interest in art evolved, the portrait transitioned into private collections or possibly galleries that showcased notable works from that era. Each owner may have perceived it differently based on their own familial values or artistic inclinations. Some might have seen it purely as decorative art, while others appreciated its deeper implications regarding identity and social dynamics. As decades rolled into the 20th century, art historians began to take a keen interest in American portraiture from the late 19th century. Recognizing that this specific portrait encapsulated themes resonant with broader cultural narratives, curators sought to place it within museums where audiences could engage with its rich context. This transition marked a significant shift from personal collection to public exhibition, a transformation emphasizing not only aesthetic appreciation, but also historical relevance. At some point, likely during this period of renewed interest, the portrait found its way into a reputable museum's collection dedicated to 19th century American art. It became part of curated exhibitions that aimed to explore themes such as family representation, societal norms, and artistic practices prevalent during that transformative era. Displayed alongside other works from similar periods, allowed viewers to draw connections between different artistic expressions while enriching their understanding of social dynamics. However, like many artworks with rich histories, this portrait faced challenges throughout its existence regarding preservation. Over time, environmental factors such as humidity and exposure to light could threaten the integrity of the canvas and paint. Museums typically employ rigorous conservation techniques designed to protect pieces like this one, monitoring conditions closely while employing professional conservators skilled at restoration when necessary. As contemporary discussions about representation evolved further into the 21st century, the portrait's status continued adapting accordingly. With growing dialogues surrounding authenticity and artistry and evolving definitions surrounding family structures, the painting's narrative transformed once again from merely an admired artifact into a catalyst for critical engagement among modern viewers. Community initiatives began hosting workshops focused on exploring its significance in today's context, inviting families from all walks of life to share stories alongside reflections prompted by interactions with this historical piece. In addition to these community efforts, scholars also published research papers examining how portraits like this one reflected changing ideals about parenthood and childhood over time, allowing for renewed scholarly discourse surrounding both its aesthetic qualities and broader cultural implications. This scholarship opened doors for interdisciplinary exchanges involving artists, historians, sociologists, encouraging diverse perspectives around evolving understandings concerning familial identities intertwined throughout history. Today, the 1875 portrait stands not only as an exemplary work capturing an idealized family, but also serves as a powerful reminder of how narratives surrounding love and connection continue adapting across generations. Its legacy invites us all into ongoing dialogues regarding authenticity versus idealization, while celebrating diversity inherent within our familial experiences. The current status of this portrait often involves rotating exhibitions depending on museum programming. However, it remains accessible for public viewing, periodically ensuring future generations appreciate its intricate history. Through careful curation alongside interactive initiatives aimed at fostering engagement, the painting continues sparking curiosity about past ambitions tied closely with present aspirations. In conclusion, the legacy and preservation journey undertaken by this remarkable artwork speak volumes about our relationship with history itself. Each viewer witnessing it today becomes partakers not merely respecting artistic mastery, but also contributing toward conversations interwoven through shared experiences passed down through time. Engaging deeply with such narratives helps shine light upon truths hidden beneath layers crafted by both brushstrokes and cultural expectations, reminding us all how essential families remain amidst societal shifts. Reflecting love, nurtured across ages, still felt vividly amongst contemporaries navigating their paths together today. As we draw our exploration of the 1875 portrait of a family of five to a close, it is vital to reflect on what this artwork teaches us about family, art, and history. The portrait serves as a remarkable lens through which we can examine not only the ideals surrounding family life during the late 19th century, but also how these constructs resonate with our current understanding of familial relationships. One of the most striking aspects of this portrait is its ability to encapsulate the societal values of the time in which it was created. The lush depiction of an idealized family, with a nurturing mother, a protective father, and three cheerful children, reveals deep-seated beliefs about family structures that were widely accepted during the era. This portrayal invites us to consider how art often reflects and reinforces social norms, emphasizing stability, unity, and respectability within familial ties. However, hidden within this idyllic representation lies a profound lesson about authenticity. The revelation that only two figures in the painting are real while three were crafted from the artist's imagination prompts important questions about the narratives we construct within art. What does it mean for something to be real? In portraying an ideal rather than an authentic experience, do we lose sight of the genuine emotions tied to family life? This duality between reality and illusion invites us to think critically about how we define family. What is depicted in art versus what is lived out in our daily lives? Moreover, as viewers engage with this painting today, they are confronted with evolving definitions of family, shaped by modern perspectives that celebrate diversity and inclusivity. Contemporary discourse surrounding gender roles and varying family structures has shifted how we approach depictions like this one. It highlights families that may not fit traditional molds, but are equally valid and filled with love. By inviting conversations around such themes, the portrait resonates with audiences today who seek representations that genuinely reflect their experiences. Throughout its journey from initial admiration to critical analysis, this portrait has maintained its significance, reminding us that art serves as both a mirror and a window. It reflects societal values while simultaneously offering insights into those values across different periods. This ongoing dialogue between past and present underscores how interpretations ebb and flow over time, shaped by cultural contexts and shifting perspectives that allow new meanings to emerge. The importance of preserving works like this goes beyond safeguarding artistic mastery. It fosters connections amid changing narratives surrounding love and kinship that affect families across generations. As viewers revisit this piece in museums or through community workshops centered on reflection and storytelling, they become partakers in ongoing dialogues about identity rooted firmly within familial connections. Additionally, engaging deeply with such narratives encourages appreciation for cultural histories intertwined through various artistic expressions shaped by distinct places and times. Each encounter with this portrait offers potential for enriching discussions around how families have navigated challenges throughout time, reminding us all how essential they remain amidst societal shifts, reflecting experiences still felt vividly among contemporaries today. Ultimately, as we reflect on these broader themes captured beautifully within this remarkable 1875 portrait, it becomes clear that its lasting impact lies not just in its aesthetic appeal, but also in its power to create shared understanding across generations regarding what family means. While society continues grappling with evolving definitions tied closely to personal aspirations grounded deep in connection, the essence embodied by every brushstroke resonates beyond mere representation. In conclusion, viewing this historic artwork invites listeners into explorations encompassing love, nurtured through shared experiences, woven over ages, along human pathways, traversed throughout history, unfolding gracefully across cultures. Celebrating our collective narratives inspires growth alongside greater appreciation for nuanced definitions now emerging around familial identities. Thus, we leave enriched from contemplating rich tales birthed upon painted canvases, the warmth found within, revealed truths affirming bonds forged together intimately, neither confined nor defined solely through common visual forms. They encompass explorations bringing forth vulnerability equally integral, wherever authentic loves blossom over shared seasons, seen through many eyes, eagerly seeking understanding, long-cherished heartfelt happiness inherited freely.